Hail Minnesota today. First and foremost, before we begin, just want to say Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans and everybody who served in our military and serves in our military. What you do every day and what you have done for us allows us to play the game that we love. It's incredibly selfless. We get to coach a game for a living. Think about it. I mean, my living's based on a game, board game, football game. It's a game, and your career and your life is built on life and death. So, thank you for all the servicemen and women in our country who are serving and who have served. It just means so much to all of us, and we're preaching that and teaching that to our players every single day. And despite what other people say, or despite what is out there on TV at different times and back and forth, we want our players to support people, especially our veterans. So, second, just want to wish Mark Coyle a happy birthday tomorrow. He turns 50 tomorrow, so everybody wish him a happy birthday. Really proud of our football team's response. Purdue is an incredible football team. I mean, they're averaging 485 yards of offense. Number 2 offense in the Big Ten, number 13 in the country. We went through a lot of change, a lot of adversity. We've been through a lot of adversity going into this season. We knew that, being young and inexperienced, that's adversity in itself. And then all the things that have happened from week 1 all the way till now, in a lot of things. We've had things happen in our coaches' wives' lives. We've had things happen in coaching changes. We've had lots of tragedy happen in our players' lives. We've had an enormous amount of adverse situations throughout our entire department, like everybody has. I don't think I've ever seen as much adversity in 1 year from a football team that I've coached, that I've been around. And for this team to do what they just did, it's special. A lot of amazing performances tonight. Muhammad Abraham had his 3rd 100-yard rushing game as a freshman. That's the first time, I think, since Maroney back in 2003. That's our 2nd straight home game without allowing a first-half touchdown. I think that's really important. Purdue was 0-12 on 3rd down. That's the key statistic, everybody. We got them off the field. We said we wanted to be simple, sound, and fast. Heck of a game plan. Simple, sound, fast, and let our players get back to what we do. We held them to 233 points, or 233 yards. That's the lowest of the season. 10 points, lowest of the season. And they gave up the most they've given up all year. So that's really, really impressive. That's our 2nd 30-point win. I think that's impressive to talk about our young, inexperienced offense. And we had 1 in 2016, 1 in 2017, and now in 2018 we've had 2. So I'm just really proud of this team's response and their resolve and their resiliency. Only I know what they really go through, and I get to see it every day, and I get to see their emotions. And this team showed a lot of heart, character, and integrity tonight. And I'm so proud to be their coach. I'm so proud to get to address them after the game. And I told them I'm so glad to have our football team back after last week's performance, and because I know they're way better than that. And they deserve all the credit. Our coaches deserve all the credit, not me. Our players do. I'm very humble being their football coach and watching them go through this journey of football that's going to match their life. And they're learning a lot as we continue to go through this together. So very proud of them. Got to give Purdue a lot of credit. That's an outstanding football team with a ton of playmakers who is incredibly experienced. And want to thank our band, want to thank our fans, our loyal fans who showed up. It just means so much. Stayed the whole game. That means so much to me. I know you care. I know you understand what we're going through, and I understand that you get to go a part of this journey with us. And it just means a lot. But I thought our band was incredible. And had a feeling before the game when I saw them, they were all jacked up, ready to go, that we'd have a little juice tonight because of them. So just want to thank our band. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
How do you figure out they beat Ohio State and they beat Iowa?
One thing I was told by Jim Tressel is the great thing about college football is you never know what's going to happen in college football. If you get into this team beat this team and this one compared to that team, as my wife tells me, comparisons steal your joy. And if you compare yourself to other people, if you compare yourself because they did this, they did that, if we compared that tonight, we would have been 50-point underdogs. So we don't stick around comparisons. We get better every day. We change our best. Nothing's changed. We practice on Tuesday hard. We practice on Wednesday hard. We walked through on Thursday, practiced hard on Friday, prepared mentally, physically, and emotionally, and gave ourselves the best opportunity to be successful, and the players took advantage of it. Sound, simple, fast. And we didn't change our defense. The defense is the defense. Then the defense works. But we got back to us, allowing a team like that to be able to, okay, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to put 12 plays together and go score. And we got to keep everything in front of us. What's killed us in the past is explosive plays. I don't think there were any explosive plays tonight. Zero. So for us, keeping things in front of us, keeping things very simple in the scheme, not a ton of adjustments, rallying around the football, and playing very simple, not many coverages. And that's what we did.
Today versus last week, it just seemed like you guys were in the right places.
Correct.
Last week. I mean, how easy is that to do, or complicated is that to do, to be in the right place?
Well, I think that goes into a lot of factors, whether it's your preparation, your confidence, your belief in yourself and your teammates, and belief in the scheme. But again, we just got back. As I said all along, I thought we were getting to a point where we were robbing Peter to pay Paul, to pay Susie, to pay Mary, to pay Mike, to pay, and that's what we were doing. We were just constantly changing that, and I felt like we had to make a change to be able to get back to what we do. And I thought Joe Rossi called a tremendous game. You want to talk about a guy who had a ton of adversity this week. You go from the D-line coach to now you're the coordinator. Not only that, it's a close friend to all of us. And I thought Joe Rossi handled it with a ton of integrity, character, professionalism, and I thought our whole staff, a guy short, Danny Collins, our GA, was our corner coach this week. And that guy has been with me 6 years. He came to me as a volunteer at Western Michigan. One of those volunteers that write you letters, bang on your door, show up every day. It gets really creepy. But then they do it so much that you just hire the guy, and you're so thankful you have them. Bradley Parker's the same way in our program, in our operations department. Stuck letters in my mailbox every day, good letters, every day. And Heather's like, this is getting a little bit weird. I said, let's give him another month to see if he does it. Kept doing it. So we at least got to talk to the guy, talk to him, and he's one of the best employees we have. And so, again, Danny Collins, Jamal Adai, Marcus West, Joe Rossi, to rally around each other and all have input on the defense. That's what you saw tonight, and you saw a team playing for each other. That reminded me of Fresno State, which, again, at the beginning of the season, you're still playing your stuff. And I thought that was tremendous.
Your first touchdown with you sent Green in. Are you counting on other teams to expect Green to run, and is that what made your tight end so open there at the goal line?
Absolutely, because that's just it's common football, right? Because when you have the quarterback as a runner, you put an extra hat in the box, and they can outnumber you quickly. And you might have 8 blockers, they've got 9. You got 7 blockers, they got 8 in the box. And what we want to do is continue to run, and then have the deception of the pass. Not only the deception, he can really throw the ball, so he can do other things. He can run option. He can run draws. He can run outside zone. He can throw the ball down the field. He can throw the ball intermediate. And again, that's just part of an offense. It's part of Kirk Shiraka's creativity. We had to find, when Rodney and Shannon went down, and then we lost Mo as well, we have to find unique ways to move the ball on offense. I think that's what some people don't understand at times is, there's 7 freshmen starting there on offense tonight. And you're going against a really good defense who's playing really, really well. Their team's playing well. They're high potent offense. And you watch what Kirk Shiraka and our offensive staff does is continues to put our players in the best position to be successful that they can do, that they're capable of doing, not just to run a scheme. What are we? We've had so much turnover and so many things happen. Every week we got to start all over almost, say, okay, who's in? What do they do best? Well, how are we going to add them? How are we going to put them in the scheme? And I think that's what Kirk Shiraka does best.
Were you surprised that Purdue came out throwing so much rather than running?
No, I think what they do and their success, what they hang their hat on is they throw the ball. That quarterback's special. I think he's one of the hottest quarterbacks in the country. That number 4 is dynamic. Their other wideouts can all run 4-4 on the outside and fly. They're experienced. They got a really big offensive line that's good. Got a lot of transfers on that line. A lot of guys who played football there for 4 years. So No, it didn't surprise me. I thought we really did a great job of stopping the run. I mean, when you look at I think the rushing offense, they had 88 yards rushing on 30 carries. So they ran the ball. We just stopped the run. A little over 2 yards a carry, or 2.8 or something like that. So I'm just really proud of our team's response as a whole.
Why were your tackling so much better today than it's been in most of the games?
We were in right position to tackle. They used the tackling circuit, and there wasn't a lot of space in between us and the defender. That's why we tackled better.
How did you feel like you were able to simplify things for the linebackers? And then can you talk about Blake Cashman's play at the start of the third?
Yeah, first of all, this is a very, very difficult offense to prepare for because there's so many shifts, motions, bubbles, motions that go in front, motions that go in back. A lot of deception. Everything's deception. But again, if your eyes are in the right spot, deception shouldn't work. Deception's all based on eyes in the wrong spot. And if you're constantly thinking, and your eyes in three different spots, then your eyes are never in the right spot, right? Got back to our eyes being in the right spot, period. And then Blake Cashman's opening play, I mean, he's on the cover of the game day program for a reason. Strips the ball, scoops and scores, finishes in the end zone. And I'll be honest, Blake Cashman had his worst game of his career last game. And I don't say that like I'm picking on him. He'll tell you that. I've told him that. He's told me that. But that just shows the resolve this team has. They don't put their head down. They put their oar back in the water and they row the boat. That's what this program's about. And I'll say this. Our team was fired up all week. We saw what the temperature was going to be. This is Minnesota. We embraced it all week. We can't wait to get to November football in the state of Minnesota. The more home games we can have in the state of Minnesota, we love. That's an advantage. And we look at it that way. We've preached it that way. Can't wait for the weather in November. Some people say they can't wait to go, get out of here in the winter. No. We love being here in the winter.
Toward the end of the first half, Mohammed pushed the pile about 10 yards. What did that tell you about him?
He's a tremendous, high character, go to battle with performer. He's got a heart. He's not that big, guys, but he's got a bigger heart than every single one of us in this room combined. And you probably have all big hearts. I'm assuming that. And he's got a he has. That's why he's here. That's why we recruited him. He has incredible how, which we call how. That unconquerable will, that fight, that passion, that heart, that desire. And when you have that, you can accomplish anything you want. And I want guys to have that because I have that. Our coaches have that. Players we recruit have that. The players who stuck around here have that. My parents have that. And that's what we're all about. If you can have a purpose and a passion towards something, you can do things that people don't think you can do.
Pete, did you have to do anything special? I mean, it's one thing to put guys in the right position, but just to team looked like it was down on his back, flat, confidence-wise, emotionally, everything last week, to try to get that back and build that back up. Did you do anything special this week other than making, obviously, a coaching change?
Well, once you make a change, now it's, this was a very emotional, I think, draining week for a lot of us. There's a grieving process that goes through that. Some people can do that and stand in front of the mic and say, "Yep, that was easy. Next question." I'm not that type of person. These are lives. These are husbands. These are fathers. These are men, and I take that personally because I hire them. And I said, the blame 100% goes on me because I make that decision. And those are decisions you have to make as a head football coach. But I knew watching our football team, and after they make the change, now it's, one, they don't play well, and then now there's a change, and now everybody's looking for leadership. That's where the head coach comes in. That's where the coaches come in. That's where men come in. That's where men of character and integrity have to grab that group. Immediately when that got done, I met with my staff. Told them exactly why, what happened, here's what it's going to look like. We shared some emotional time together. Went immediately out of that meeting, went to the team. Immediately got done with the team, met with individual players all night, of how to be able to respond to this and why it was and what their feelings were. I'm very proud of what we have in our program, that we embrace the 11th coach, I call her, Dr. Carly Anderson. We embrace her. She's the 11th coach. She's the mind coach. Her and Dr. Justin, we brought on board of our athletic department, and they work a lot with our football team on mental health, training, sport performance training with the mind. And they've been a huge an asset to our program. And I'm not afraid to do that. I think we're at the cutting edge of that our student athletes' minds are so important. Then we have our Board of Houfers meeting on Monday where I meet with the entire support staff and non-coaches. What do you see from our team? Here's what we all have to be able to do, because even if they're with us, they're only with us a few hours. Then they go to academics. Well, if Jackie and Rob aren't saying the same message and they don't know what's going on and they don't know what their feelings are, then how can they look for different signs? Or our dietitians or our nutritionists or Leslie or our strength staff, right? Or athletes in action or whoever it is. I mean, how can we put our arms around these kids if we don't know how they're feeling? And we don't ignore those feelings. And every single one of our kids had different feelings based on what happened. The loss plus the change. These are 18 to 22-year-old kids. And the most of our kids are 18 or 19. And to have that change, whether you recruited by them, that's very difficult. But you have to be able to, one, be in damage control, and then you have to be able to educate and teach. And then you have to continue to be yourself. I didn't walk into Tuesday's team meeting all down in the dumps. It was, boom, here we go, back to work. Here's what we have to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to be simple, sound, and fast, period. This is how we're going to change it. And then you got to get everybody to believe and buy in. And that's the job of all of our coaches, our entire support staff, our administration, Garrett Chernoff, Daniel Lift, our DFO. It takes everybody. It takes an entire village to be able to help these young people. And we don't ignore that. This is not the football team and everybody else. This is all of us. And I'm really proud of the way they responded. It was a very emotional win tonight, and they deserve it. So I appreciate, as always, all the articles and how you continue to cover us, and just appreciate it. Appreciate you covering us every single day. It means a lot. So row the boat, Skyma, go Gophers. Thank you, everybody. You got it.